I'm gonna be sacrificing this mannequin because a lot of you want to see, and I got a lot of special requests saying, "Oh, salon guy, I want to see you cut, a men's haircut going from a lot longer to a lot shorter, so something very dramatic." Well, if you're a hairstylist, barber, if you're a hair professional, then this is going to be really, really helpful for you because I'm going to break down my approach to what I would do. I'm using my 25 spray, which is a leave-in treatment spray. It's got 25 benefits. It's like a multivitamin for your hair. It also works as a really great cutting lotion, so I just spray some of that on, and I'm using my anti-static vent brush. Again, if you are a professional and you want good quality tools from me, a fellow professional, then you can get them on my store, and I can actually hook you up with a very exclusive discount if you are a hair professional. And this is a really, really great, it's my favorite vent brush of all time. This is my own brush, my own mold. This is my favorite vent brush and detangling brush ever. So what I'm gonna do is what I like to do when I'm first approaching a haircut is I will analyze, what am I going to do, right? And I know right now a lot of the trends are kind of like a natural middle part type of haircut. But before you even get into the haircut, and especially if you're new at haircutting, all this hair can be very, very, very intimidating. So to overcome the fear of cutting long hair, and right, you can even see how long this is here, there's a few different ways you can approach this. So I would say take this hair and cut it in sections. So we can go with a center parting right here, just basically right down the middle. And what I'm going to do then is separate the front from the back, which is basically called the division point. And you find that by, if you lay the comb flat, the flattest part of the head typically is right there, and that's where it usually separates. Another thing you can do is you can actually comb the hair down like this, and you can actually give it a push, and you see the hair wants to split right there. So let's do that. Let's create a division point like this, which separates the front from the back. There it is right there. It's typically right around this area. And I'll do this on the other side so you can see how I did that. Once again, take all this hair, you're gonna just push up like this. You're gonna push up and you're gonna see that the hair will split, and that is where typically the division point is going to be. Now these are mannequin heads that are stitched, so some of them can be, one side could be a little bit different, but regardless, this is to help you overcome the fear of long hair. And you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? So what you wanna do is you want to establish where you want this length to be. So let's just say we want that length to be right there. So all you need to do is, here is all the hair right here. We want to leave some length into there. We're going to go a bit shorter, and guess what? Boom. One big chomp, get rid of all that hair. Comb it down again. There it is. Boom, one big chomp. Right there. You just hacked off, and yes, this is not how the end result's going to be. This is nothing even close to what's going to be, but you just chop that off, and now you're like, oh, okay, well, this isn't really that bad, so let's do the other side. So we're taking this one step at a time, and obviously if you're cutting a client, they're going to be like freaking out. They go, oh my God, but they already know they're going to be going shorter. So this is just a more efficient way to do this. So the other side, we want right below the ear. We're going to lock in that shear. Boom. Now in the process, we're trying not to lose an ear on the client or a finger. So, do this and just be cautious about it. Let's just double check to see we're even Steven. And we are pretty much good to go for now. Anything else that comes up, we can just get rid of that. Now, all right, that's gone. Now what about the back? Well, there's a few different ways you can get rid of all the hair in the back. What you can do is you can take all this hair right into here. You can comb it down into almost like somewhat of a ponytail or so, and just start to get rid of all that hair. Boom. Just get rid of it, right? We're trying to make things a little bit easier. And I know it may be intimidating, but guess what? We're cutting all this hair off anyway. So we might as well, right? So now we've got the shorter piece here, and we've got all this hair back here. But what we've done is actually created a point, a guide. So watch this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that corner right in through here. Let's just say I want to go to that length. And now I'm going to work my way downwards like this. And I'm working all the way down the bottom. All the way down. And I'm standing right in through here, right in front of where I'm cutting. I'm not cutting in an awkward position. And look what I just did. I created this by connecting that into here. That's it. All right, next section. So this is basically, we're taking this on horizontal diagonal sections. Here we go. There's the guide from before. And boom, there it is. Now this is all about, in all honesty, trying to get rid of that hair. Right? Trying to get rid of the hair. And I'm trying to find a good angle here so you all can see this. Really just trying to get rid of that hair as efficiently as possible. And once you get rid of all this heavy bulk and all this extra length, it then just becomes a matter of, how comfortable do you feel doing this? And the more you do it, let's go on this side here. I'm just trying to get all these angles, camera angles good. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get. There's the guide right there. And now I'm just slightly standing right here. And the left arm is not extending too high because I want to keep myself in a good body position. It's all about feeling confident and just getting used to working with longer hair. And you can see what's happening is already we're creating a really nice shape here. And this, in all honesty, this goes for long hair, it goes for short hair, it goes for, women's hair. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. This really is for all hair types. So here I am, I'm standing over this way, and I'm making sure that I'm in a good body position. I'm not feeling overextending. Now, the minute I feel like I have to reach down, I just change body position, and then I cut palm to palm. Palm to palm is basically, imagine you can give yourself a round of applause because you're in the right position. So palm to palm is both palms facing each other, and that's going to allow you to get closer down towards the bottom. Okay, it's going to allow you to get closer right down towards the bottom. All right, here we go. Working in kind of like a vertical diagonal. Here we go. And I'm going to bring this length back a bit and over direct this way because we're not working on the top yet. We're just literally trying to get rid of all the bulk throughout the back here and all the excess length. Bulk basically means length for the most part. Now, bulk could mean the opposite, where it's more about the hair is really heavy, and bulky, aka it's really thick. So what you need to do is get rid of all that and thin it out. That's basically what bulk means. So let's comb this all down, and we're looking good here. This is really just putting the opening touches on this, but look how nice this is starting to work its way in now. Okay, now let's comb this down. We want to try to keep this as much of the way the hair is falling, or laying, I should say. And I'm over-directing this back, all this I'm over-directing back, because we're not even at that part yet. What I'm looking to do is just make a good, solid connection and really get rid of a lot of this excess length. And this is the scary part, is seeing hair that is really, really, really long and then going this short, right? That's what I think is the most intimidating thing to most people is, oh my gosh, the hair's so long and how, I'm going so short and all that. Like, how can I do that? Well, we're doing it. So it's just a matter of getting comfortable with working on, going from shorter to longer. And once again, I'm following this pattern on the head where we're going from, around on a somewhat diagonal section. This is the method that I tend to do, which I think works well for me. And there's a lot of methods and techniques and things out there, obviously, that you can all try and experiment with. But, really what it comes down to is what's going to work best for you. Right? There's that little corner right there. And I'm going to cut that off. So just so you can see where we're at right now. This is where we're at. All right, let's go this way. Once again, take all this. We're really just trying to get rid of this length, this excess length, which is what freaks everybody out. And then we'll go back in and do a lot of refining and things like that. Okay, here we go. We're working our way into the corner. Now I'm going to switch again, and now I'm going palm to palm. Again, I'm giving myself a round of applause because I am in a good body position. I'm basically almost standing straight up and parallel, which is good. And now you're going to start to see that things are starting to kind of level themselves out right here. They're starting to level themselves out as far as I'm not going over diagonally as much. But you can take this all the way to the corner. And there it is. Once again, palm to palm. Here we go. Palm to palm allows you to really, really get close, and it allows you to stay in a good body position, good arm position, good hand position. Anytime you feel you're overextending, then it could be time to switch it up. And look at this. We only have one little section of hair right in through here. One little section of longer hair right there. There it is, bam. Okay, here we go. Take this there's all that hair. Boom, gone. Almost done with getting rid of all this scary hair right there. And let's see, we've got one more piece. And how many more pieces do we have that are crazy long? Well, not many. Here it is, right here, that one little corner. And let's go now this way. And let's cross-check all of this. Push this out of the way now. Let's focus really on this area. Let's go back in now and let's look for all that weight. See all that weight right there? All that extra length? Boom. Now I'm cutting diagonal going this way. And you want to always cut and cross-check the opposite way that you cut everything. You want to work the hair in a variety of different angles. You want to work the hair in a, comb it in all different ways. That's the thing, is you really want to work the hair so that, as the hair falls, as the hair lays, it's going to be perfect because of how you cut it. And that's really what it comes down to, because you want to move the hair around. Hair is designed to just move around freely, and it gets messed up, and the wind blows, and you go like this. You want to try to mess it up. And if you can wear a haircut or cut someone's hair to where you actually can mess it up and it still looks good, then that's like a really amazing gift you can give someone, is cutting their hair to where no matter what they do, it's going to look good. And that's typically how I cut hair, is I would cut hair to make sure that it grows out really well. That's what I'm focused on, is the end result, of how good is this hair going to grow out. That's what that comes down to. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm going in and doing the refining, and I'm just making sure that everything is matching up well. And now that we got all that hair off, as far as the back, you could even start from scratch with this, because guess what? All that hair It's not scary anymore. You're like, oh, wait, I just cut all the hair off. And the client's like, holy cow, like this looks incredible. Like, how did you do all this? And they're going to start to, you know, admire your work. And they're going to really start to see, like, you know what you're talking about. You put all that time and energy and, you know, you really showed like you know what you're doing and you were confident about it. So that's a huge step to get rid of that fear. Okay, here we go. Now what I'm doing is as I'm combing the hair down, you know, I'm looking for inconsistencies, right? I'm looking for hairs that are longer. I want to see things that are screwed up. Fortunately, I'm not seeing a lot, but this is where the real haircut skill comes in. All right, now, here we go. Got all the back for the most part. And it's now time to, you could see we have to work all this because it's looking a little bit like a light bob almost. And we have to really start to reshape this and get rid of this ledge right here because we didn't really cut the back yet into the top. So what I'm going to do is, once again, you've got the division point, this and this, and I'm going to start right down in the middle, and I'm going to push his hair out of the way. Now I'm going to look and see where I may see a ledge of some sort, a weight line, and okay, there it is, and that's the weight line right there. So how do you get rid of a weight line? Well, what you need to do is if you pull this, you'll start to see where the hair gets heavier and heavier and longer because it's not rounded. It's not following the head shape. So now if I'm doing that, I've completely in that one section got rid of that whole thing. Okay, next section. I'm looking to see where I can find that weight line, and there it is. Now I'm combing and following the head shape, and this, all this longer hair right there, that is what falls on top and creates that ledge. And if it's not blended, or what I like to call connected, then that is when the issues will arise. And that's when you start to see all the problems. Now, I like to cut, you know, going from the top, then the corners and the sides. That's how I basically cut hair. Top, corners, and the sides. And that's what we're going to do for this next part after we make the connection. So this is introducing the front to the back. Hello, top. Hello. Nice to meet you. This is a whole new area that we're working towards. And here we go. So now it's time to really, now look at all that hair right there. This is what we need to get rid of. Now we're entering into a whole new territory of the head. And this is where all of that starts to play into itself. Now we do want to cut somewhat triangular because the front part is going to be a little bit longer, as you can see. And this is what's going to help you do all that. I'm right-handed, so my left elbow is what's going to help keep me cutting triangular. So the elbow going to the ceiling, this is the length of the hair. Look how long that's going to be. Look how short that's going to be. So that's how you have to think about it. Your elbow is the length. And that's how long it's all going to be. So now we've made the connection going from the back into the top. And here, I'm now going to be cutting horizontally. This is where we're going to see a lot of length coming off because we haven't cut any of this yet on top. So look at all this hair right in through here. All right, here we go. And I'm going to slightly over direct back because I do want to keep the front a bit longer. And when you over direct, you're simply pulling back a little bit, and that's where we're going to maintain that length. It's still going to be blended in. It's just we are going to make sure that, let me just get this straight here. Gosh. Okay, there it is. I'm going to make sure that we have some, all of this still is going to be blended. It's all still going to be blended. But I'm maintaining the length because I want to have this kind of going towards like a 90s kind of grunge look where it's, see how it's longer in the front here? All right, so I mentioned the corners. So here are the corners. Let's comb this straight out. And there is that corner right there. I'm deciding, yes, to cut that corner off because I do want this to not be so heavy in through here. I apologize, I'm always wearing black when I cut. I really apologize. As we get towards the corners in through here, what you want to do is to prevent any holes from happening around here, you want to take a lot of hair. So a super thick section right in through here, and we're going to over direct all this back. And the reason is, once again, because we have that protection right there. And boom, there it is right there. So we're leaving all this, so we're preventing this from jumping up. Now, that's the corners. Let's talk about the sides down and through here. The sides are the true sides. What's going on down and through here? All right, let's go down. Let's go downtown here and let's see what we got. Yes, very, very heavy, very bulky right in through the sides here. There it is. So I want us to have a little bit of a flow, a little bit of a light taper. There it is. And I don't want to have this being super, super heavy down and through here. So let's comb this out. And we're going to get rid of all that length down right in through here. The true sides are right there. Here it is, and look at all that hair. Boom. And now let's bring all this hair back once again to make sure we have a good solid section right there. And there's all that hair. So let's brush this out of the way now because I want to leave this intact. And now I'm just going to start to focus on this area right in the front where this seems extremely heavy. So right there, I'm cutting all that hair right off on the true sides. And these mannequins, again, are stitched fairly a little differently. And they tend to be really, really heavy and bulky right through this area and through here. So let's comb this down and we can see how the hair is, boom, we got to get rid of that because of the stitching from this sideburn area. So there we go, right there. All right, cool. Now let's take as much of this hair in one section as we possibly can, and I'm just going to cut this and cross-check this horizontally, and I'm pulling this out from the head like so. And let's go now this way and through here just to make sure. And we have to kind of match this front up right there. So it's a slightly longer right here, which is exactly what we want, right? We wanted to leave that front a little bit longer to give it that like kind of retro grungy type of look. Perfect. Boom. And if you want to do a shorter version of this, it's just you cut more hair off. That's really what it comes down to. And I forgot, there's still one more side we have to do. Cool. All right, this is all working in beautifully. So the reason I layered this is because as I brush this back, you could see that the hair will tend to stay back a bit, right? Because of me layering this properly. If I were to leave this, which a lot of barbers or people who do men's hair or so, oh, it's got to be square. It's a men's haircut. It's got to be square. Actually, it would not lay properly. It would not have that flow. Okay, the layers wouldn't be feathered back enough. So it would just look very, very, very heavy. All right, here we go. So let's work in through this part now. The corners. There it is. Going on this way. And all I did was basically, I just turned my body, I kept my body in the same spot, I just turned the mannequin head. So now I'm able to not have to overextend and stretch and throw my body over to the other side, because that's really where all the back pains come in, that's where the bad posture comes. So now I'm pushing away from me like this, and the true corners, there's that hair, that little corner right there, and I'm getting rid of that. Okay, let's work our way downtown once again. We're working now towards the sides. Combing and cutting, combing and cuts. I'm always ABC, always be cutting, right? Or always be combing, either one. Always be combing and looking, always be combing and looking. Push this hair out of the way that you just cut. Here is the front. So you want to make sure that you're over directing this back so you don't cut off a chunk of hair. And now we're on the true sides. The true bottom right here, which I mentioned on the other side. There's a lot of hair right there. So let's get rid of all that. Here we go on this side. Next section, look at all this hair. These mannequin heads have a ton of hair and it likes to really bunch up, typically down throughout this bottom area. We'll leave that front out. There's all that hair. Boom. And it literally just comes right off. Okay, so now let's take this all the way back and let's just connect this one little piece right there. And now let's get this out of the way because I want to preserve this length throughout the top here. And now we're going to focus in just on this one area right in through here. Oh, there it is, and look at all that hair. Let's comb this down, and you can see, just like the other side, the hair gets very thick, very heavy in that one area. Boom. There it is. Okay, let's comb this all down. Now I'm going to cut horizontally just to make sure that everything is good to go. Now I'm going to check the other side just to make sure we're in the same ballpark. Yep, that's looking good. Now let's do something else where I'm now going to follow the similar type of technique and pattern to where I'm going to be cutting this on a diagonal vertical section where I'm just working my way down this way to check the connection. And it's totally okay if there are pieces that are a little heavier down into here, like right in this very front. These mannequin heads are crazy. Right there in that very front. Very heavy. There it is. Okay, perfect. Created a nice, beautiful flow. Any longer pieces, just get rid of them. Right there. All right. Work this in. Let's work this top in. And now let's see where we bring all that hair together. And what you really want to do is you really want to bring the hair together, right? You want to make every hair, one big happy family. You want to try to connect everything as much as you possibly can. Okay, and now starting to see that flow. Let's check this other side. Everything's looking good. Now let's go back this way and one more time. Let's check. This was a little bit long right into here. And now I'm going to go back and just shorten this one area. And as the hair dries, you're starting to enter a whole different phase of the haircut. Keep that in mind. As this hair dries, you're entering a whole different phase of the haircut. Because the hair is taking a different shape. And that's what happens when the hair dries. You're going to start to see it's a lot thicker. You're going to start to see where, certain areas of the hair will stick out more. It's going to just start to, the bulk is going to expose itself, the thickness. It's all going to start to react differently once it dries, okay? It's really important to know. Now, this top, I want to still work this top in a little bit. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually cut what I call the mohawk section right down the middle. And this is just really to check the balance of the layering. So let's bring this straight up. That's looking pretty good. Let's continue to work in a somewhat triangular manner where we're leaving the front, but it's all still connected. And if you see any little hairs, then that's just telling you you got to cut those off. Okay, here we go. Working into this area now. We're going to over direct this up and towards you. And let's see what we got. Yeah, it's a little bit heavy right there. And this is where all of the true kind of connection and blending really starts to take shape, is when all of this is met with each other. So it's kind of like introducing friends, right? Hey top, hey corners, hey sides, let's have a nice little hangout session. And that's what that is. All right, here we go. Other side now. Let's push that up. And this is fine, because I did that just before. So now let's go to the next section on this other side. Now I'm going to start to kind of push away from me. I'm going to start to push away from me like this. And let's look for those little hairs right there. Okay, let's comb this way and pushing upwards. And I'm combing and I'm looking and I'm feeling. I'm really trying to see like how everything is working into itself. How is it all connected? There we go. Okay, I'm just going to skim those little ends right there. And then one last piece, or one last section right in through here. Comb all this upwards this way. Yep, just a little bit heavy right there, not much. All this right there in that corner, and then boom. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm like 75% done with this haircut. And you're probably thinking to yourself, my gosh, dude, this has like been 45 minutes already. Like, what the heck is going on? Well, guess what? I'm not charging $20 for a haircut. So, you know, it all shows in the work. So here is where I'm going to do a little slide cutting. And this is where I'm just kind of removing a little bit of weight and adding some volume from underneath. Some slide cutting. Do this at your own risk. You know, just adding a little bit more of texture and softness to the whole thing. This is a bit more advanced, but basically you're letting the hair fall into the shears, and you're just removing some excess weight, slide cutting. And this is done when the hair is still kind of damp, and what I'm doing is I'm moving the thumb just ever so slightly. Not a whole lot, because you will take a chunk of hair off. All right, next I'm going to use my sea salt spray. This is Tidal Wave. It's my #1 best-selling product. This is a customized product, not private label. You can't get this anywhere else. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 spritzes. That's it. Let's do 1, 2, 3 more sprays of 25 spray. Let's comb this all through just to make sure there's no knots in the hair from all the combing and working the hair in. And I'm going to comb all this through. And what I'm doing is I'm looking and checking to make sure that everything is laying properly. We got a good flow to it all. I'm liking what I'm seeing in through here. Before I blow dry it, I'm just going to show you. There's hair literally everywhere, but look, let's take a look right in through here. Look how nice that looks. See how that all flows in? You shake the head and look what happens. You got these pieces. All of a sudden, people think this is Johnny Depp or Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic. All right, time to blow dry it. Let's spin this. Now I'm going to be using my blow dryer and mostly my hands for the most part. And for what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to just rake this back, right? I'm trying to just rake this and smooth it and get it dry as fast as I possibly can. Now, I blow dried this all towards the face because I want to kind of smooth this out. But now what I'm doing is I'm looking at how heavy this hair is. Like I mentioned, these things have a lot of hair, okay? So, boom, now I'm gonna start to debulk all of this from the heaviest parts, which is coming from underneath this way. And I'm literally taking my thinning shears and this is debulking. Look at all this hair right through here. Look at all that, boom. So I'm debulking all of this underneath. The underneath heavy, 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 heavy layers. And I'm letting this fall into my thinning shears. Okay, good. That side is done. Let's go on this side now. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking and I'm trying to feel for that bulk. And this is softening up everything. So you see I'm lifting and the hair, where it's heavy, is falling right into the thinning shears. And I'm working, look at all this hair. I'm working from the bottom up because the bulk and the heaviness, the thickness is down in through here. And when this top hair sits on that and lays over it, I want this to be really seamless. Let's do this throughout the back. This is ideal for somebody who has really, really thick hair. You don't want to be doing this on someone who has 4 hairs on their head, because then they'll be leaving with 1 hair on their head, okay? or they'll have 4 hairs, but you only be able to see one of them because the hair is so thin. So this is really ideally a technique that is ideal for somebody who has a ton of hair. All right, let's blow all this hair out of here. Make sure that you explain to the client that they're going to have a lot of hair. Like when they go home, they're going to have a lot of hair everywhere. Okay, so the haircut for the most part is done. So now let's really get in and be aggressive now, and let's see what this is doing, right? All this hair is now flying out from all the hair we thinned out. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for how this hair is flowing, or AKA laying, right? How it's laying. Now, if at any point you feel that, oh, this is too heavy, then you just, or too long, then you cut it shorter. But look what we just did. Because of the way this was all layered and shaped, you can create your own kind of curtains hairstyle. But look how long this hair comes down. So it's really just an illusion. And that's what a good haircut will allow you to do, is you can mold it and shape it in any way, just like what I'm doing. Let's get here on this side and watch. Once again, I'm going to brush this back and look at how, because of how I cut this, when I bring this down, watch. See how it's able just to work into itself like that easily? And see how that even stays back? It's because I removed a lot of that weight and I made sure this had an amazing flow. So if you want a shorter type of curtains hairstyle, then there you go. But if you want to have something where it's off the face like this, you get 1 or 2 pieces coming down over this way, then you're going to be good to go. Here we go. See? Again, this is extreme as far as the length. Now let's comb this all down. Let's just say that, oh, salon guy, this is too, it's too triangular, it's too long in the front. I don't want it this long. Okay, well, fine. Guess what? Let's get rid of it. If it's too long in the front for you, then we'll get rid of it. So this is option B, to where the client's like, yeah, this is like too Leonardo DiCaprio-ish. And okay, fine. So let's take this down. I'm standing right in front of where I'm cutting while this is dry. And we're just cutting all this off. And the good thing is because this was cut in a way that everything blends together, it's not going to really make that much difference. It's still going to be an amazing haircut. Everything still blends into itself. Yeah, perfect. All right, so now we've just created a shorter version. And I know some of you who are like, oh, it's got to be like down to my chin, the front piece. Well, you can leave it like that. This is just another way of doing it, right? Now, what do you think about that? Do you like that better? I honestly think this looks better. So when it comes to styling and products, I've been making some videos of my newest product I'm going to be launching soon, which I said it's going to probably be the best hair styling product you'll ever use, even for myself. This is a structure styler. I'm creating a new category, the structure category. This is called a structure styler. And you scoop it out. Let's work it through the hands. It ends up working in very, very nicely. You feel little grit at first, like a sandy grit, and then it just kind of goes away depending on how much you work it into the hands. But this is going to give you the most pliable hairstyle volume you'll ever experience. Great for fine hair, great for thick hair. It just absorbs into the hair really, really nicely. So if you want something that has, a little light control, nothing too crazy as far as hold goes, you want something just to kind of get it off the face and have a really kind of natural matte lived-in finish, then this is going to be your product here. Okay, here we go. Let's get this through all the hair. And again, this hair is so thick on its own. So there's the side right there. All right. So it's just really ideally just taming, right? It's taming the hair, and we're really able to work this in nicely. If you want something that's a bit more kind of disheveled, off-center parting, you want to go over to the side, you want to have a little bit of volume right in the front here, then there you go. You can even do something a little off-center like this. I didn't use a whole lot of product, so on longer hair you probably want to use a little bit more, but you're still going to get volume, you're still going to get some texture. You want to wear it in the face, you can wear it in the face. Again, it all depends on you. But we've created a really nice flow type of haircut from short to long, and I hope this is something that you all got a lot out of. And I really enjoyed doing this. If you are a hair professional, let me know in the comments below, because this is what I call a big job, man. This is a big, big, big job haircut. And I hope it really helps you eliminate some of that fear of going from someone who's got longer hair to shorter hair. So, all right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you want to purchase any of my tools and my products, you can go to shop.thesalonguy.com. You can use code YouTube20 for 20% off. I have also courses. If you go to TheSalonGuy.com or courses.TheSalonGuy.com, I have some in-depth, just direct courses of step-by-step tutorials on some haircuts, and a lot of digital products too. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon.